this is Sedlo, and welcome to another DCS Mission Editor tutorial. The other day on the YouTube channel, someone asked me to do a video on how I like to organize my triggers. Now, this is evolving for me. If you take a look at some of my first missions, second missions, and third missions, you can tell there's absolutely no organization of the trigger list. For a simple mission, maybe that's not so bad, but when you start getting into missions with hundreds and hundreds of triggers, a way to organize them is a very good idea. My method is evolving still. It may still change, but this is kind of what I do right now. The first thing I like to do when I get into a mission is go new trigger, and in the name here, I'm going to put a bunch of stuff here. I'm going to call it page break, and I'm going to put a bunch of stuff here. The reason why I do that is just so it's very visible. It's different than the regular triggers that you'll have, okay? And say the condition, just put a condition in here so that it doesn't erase. And we're going to say page break flag is on. This is a nonsense flag. It doesn't mean anything. It's just a placeholder. Okay, so the first trigger of the mission is going to be a mission start trigger. We're going to call this start. There's not going to be any conditions because the condition is already here. It's when the mission starts. Let's put our first flag of the mission. I like to use flag 1. Sometimes I use start, but it's important that you put a flag here because you can refer to it later. You can say time since flag 1, 2 minutes, something happens. It's just good practice to do. All right, in the mission start as well is where I will often load some script if I need to, either a script file or a do script. This is just gobbledygook, doesn't really mean anything, all right? But just put your scripts in here. All right, now what I like to do now is go up to this page break thing. I'm going to hit clone, and I'm going to move it down 1. All right, you see how that's separated out there? That's what we like to do. All right, and this is where I start building my mission. The first trigger, say you're doing a single player mission, you can say when they call ground control. So I'm gonna say here, call ground. And the conditions for this is going to be the flag is true, flag 1 is true, and the player selects a certain frequency. Now, let's say it's going to be, I don't know, F16, I guess. So we'll say com1_freak. The UHF radio freak is 228.6. And then you can add a audio file, and you can do like a message. Let's just do a quick message here. Forward 51, ground. Forward 51, ready to taxi. Now we're also going to, for each trigger that we do, we're going to set a flag. 99% of the time we're going to do that. And we're going to say, let's call this taxi request. All right, so say this is a 10-second long audio file, and you put your taxi request on here. The next thing you can do, how I like to speed things up a little bit, is I just clone this, and I'm going to say taxi clearance. And so here, let's just copy this. So we're going to say, instead of flag is true, we're going to say time since flag. Gosh, my mouse is way crazy. Time since flag, say the previous trigger was 10 seconds long. We're going to say 13 seconds after that's done, we're going to say ground control is going to come back and say forward 51, ground, taxi, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie for runway 34, whatever. What you're going to change the name here is clearance received. All right. And you're going to build another trigger. What I like to do is clone it and clearance acknowledge, whatever. Okay, we just keep doing that. Now I'm going to go up to this page break here. When we're done with the taxi on the ground, I'm going to clone it, I'm going to put it down here to serve as a break between things. What you can also do, you can also choose a color. You can choose any of these colors if you want to make this stand out. We can make them, say, make all the taxi clearances be blue, and then let's say we're going to do tower holding short. Tower holding short. And what you can say is time since flag, the player has changed their frequency to 364.2, and then you could put a thing in here that says they're in a zone at the end of the runway. So you see, we'll make these ones yellow, and then it's going to be a bunch of yellow ones for the tower. Clone the page break thing, and we'll do one more, and we'll say contact departure. And for the conditions, you can say now they're on departure frequency of 228.2 or 3, and you can put one, say, altitude is higher than whatever, blah, 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 blah. But the key thing here is you change the flag value here, and then you put it in here. You clone, build, clone, change, clone, build. But as you can see, it's starting to look a little bit more organized, even though these triggers are crazy. Change this one to not red, purple. That's hard to see. Tell you what, here's another thing. You can manipulate these numbers to get any sort of RGB color you want, not just these ones here. So if you know your RGB numbers, you can put it in there, or you just mess around with it. Say this one's 5, and this one is 55, and this one is 2. There's some puke green color if you want it, whatever. So has this been clear at all? I hope so. It's just basically a way to differentiate your triggers. You can easily look them up, or at least skip to the part where you want to get to by just looking at the colors and the page breaks here. I hope this has been useful. I hope you have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.